Assalamualaikum. My name is Mazlin Binti Mohd Rijal. Okay, I want to explain about subtopic 8.3, which is what are the components of an organizational framework for security and control. For information system control is a general control govern the design, security and use of computer programs and the security data files in the general throughout the organization information technology infrastructure. On the whole, general controls apply to all computerized application and consist of a combination of hardware, software and manual procedure that create an overall control environment. General control include software controls, physical hardware control, computer operation control, data security controls, controls over the system development process, and administrative controls. Okay, for application control, specific controls unique to each computerized application, such as payroll or order processing. They include both automated and manual procedure that ensure that only authorized data are completely and accurately processed by the application. So application control can be classified as input control, processing control, and output control. Okay, for input control is check data for accuracy and completeness when they enter the system. There are specific input control for input authorization, data conversion, and data editing and error handling. For processing control, establish that data are complete and accurate during updating. Output control is to ensure that the result of the computer processing are accurate, complete and properly distributed. Okay, so information system control should not be an afterthought. They need to be incorporated into the design of a system, and it should consider not only how the system will perform under all possible conditions but also the behavior of organization and people using the system. The interactive session on organization described the importance of system control in preventing massive cyber security attacks, such as the Stuxnet attack on industrial controllers. For the next point is a risk assessment. It determines the level of risk to the firms if a specific activity or process is not properly controlled. Not all risks can be anticipated and measured, but most business will be able to acquire some understanding of the risks they face. So business managers working with information system specialists should try to determine the value of information assets, point of vulnerability, the likely frequency of a problem, and the potential for the damage. Okay, now we will go to the next slide, which is the security policy. It consists of a statement ranking information risks, identifying acceptable security goals, and identifying the mechanism for achieving this goal. Okay, what are the firm's most important information assets? Who are generates and control this information in the firm? What existing security policy are in place to protect the information? So what level of risk is management willing to accept for each of these assets? Okay, it is a willing, for instance, to lose customer credit data once every 10 years, or will it build a security system for credit card data that can be withstand the once in 100-year disaster? So management must estimate how much it will cost to achieve this level of the acceptable risks. Okay, the next is a acceptable use policy, as known as a AUP, defines the acceptable uses of the firm's information resources and computing equipment, including a desktop, laptop computer, wireless device, telephones, and the internet. A good AUP defines unacceptable and acceptable action for every user and specifies consequence for non-compliance. Okay, after AUP, we have identity management consists of the business process and software tools for identifying the valid user of a system and controlling their access to system resources. It is include policies for identifying and authorizing different categories of system user, specifying what system or portion of a system each user is allowed to access, and the process and the technology for authenticating user and protecting their identity. Next point is the role of auditing. Is information system audit examines the firm's overall security environment as well as a control governing individual information system. The auditor should trace the flow of sample transaction through the system and perform tests using, if appropriate, automated audit software. The information system audit may also examine data quality, security audit, review technologies, procedure, documentation, training, and personnel. Throughout the audit will even simulate an attack or disaster to the test the response of the technology, information system staff, and business employee. For the last point is disaster recovery planning and business continuity planning. Disaster recovery planning devices plan for the restoration of a distributed computing and communication services. Disaster recovery planning focus primarily on the technology issues involved in keeping system up and running, such as which file to backup and maintenance of backup computer system or disaster recovery service. For example, like Mastercard maintains a duplicate computer center in Kansas City, Missouri, to serve as an emergency backup to its primary computer center in St. Louis. Rather than build their own backup facilities, many firms contract with a disaster recovery firm such as SoundGuard Availability Services and Acronis. For the business continuity planning focuses on how the company can restore business operation after a disaster strikes. The business's continuity plan identifies the critical business processes and determines action plan for handling mission critical function if a system go down. For example, is a Deutsche Bank, which provides investing banking and asset management services in 74 countries, has a well-developed business continuity plan that it continually updates and refines. It maintains full times in Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, India, and Australia to coordinate plans addressing loss of facilities, personnel, or critical systems so that the company can continue to operate when a catastrophic event occurs. So the Deutsche Bank plan to distinguish between processes critical for business survival and thus critical to crisis support and coordinate with the company disaster recovery planning for its computer centers. Okay, that's all from me. I hope you guys can understand what I try to explain. Thank you.